So welcome again to your channel, Forces of Fascism and Freedom, episode 4, a quick continuation from episode 3. So the last episode we see evidence is starting to be looked at and linked to Burisma and China Communist Party as it relates to bribery. Also a possible inflection point. This is in regards to the balloon, an inflection or change in military strategy. To low tech, low cost, high effectiveness, high volume attack, as it relates to having like 200,000 balloons coming at you. So, and also as promised here, let's get rid of this. I finally found Bribery 101. Finished it. This is a very good thing to look at. Basically, I can just read it here. It's a bunch of good things to take a look at, because so that way when it happens, you see it and you know it. So when you're reading the news about, so this is what they're trying to basically. Anyway, let's get into it. What they're trying to avoid is direct payoff. Okay, so this can be accomplished directly through a family member, as well as a briefcase with cash at a meeting. So they want to avoid that, because if you get caught doing that, that is it. That's obvious, you know. So a legal way in order to be, and you can't spend the money either, right? If you get that money, so where did the money come from? It's difficult to say how you got it. If you still got all your money, it's still in the bank, right? And you're paying everything for cash, and you're riding around in a Bentley. So a fictional executive board of members. Where does that? Hopefully that sounds familiar to you by now. So, for example, Bunter Hyden's position on the board of Burisma was called CEO, crack executive officer. No one knows what his position was called to get paid. He got paid not to show up, basically. So that's a pretty good example there. I messed up his word, mixed up his words. That way it's in code. Hopefully I don't get censored myself. So it's very possible that I'm shadow banned or I'm censored and all kinds of things, right? So that's a bit of bumper stumpers there. So if ever I do that, you know what I'm doing. Hopefully you're smart enough to know. LLCs and holding companies. So a company that owns a company that owns a company that owns a company, making it difficult to track. So they've used that as well. Works of art. Oh, you know what? Bush used this actually as well too. Both of them. So they would paint like a super crappy piece of artwork, and then they got purchased by Ukraine oligarchs, or other evil billionaires like George Soros or something like that, Klaus Schwab, for millions of dollars. So there you go. No problem. Crime, corruption covered. Diamonds, and there's pictures of diamonds actually on that laptop that was just currently found. It's finally real. So congratulations, people can see pictures of the diamonds on the laptop that was received by Chinese officials. Exorbitant rental fees. This one's come in. It's kind of interesting too. So how do you exchange and pass cash in between your co-conspirators? How you do that is you stay overnight one time, and you charge excessive amounts of rent for an asset, for a house or asset or whatever it is. So you rent at super huge amounts. So that there was a piece of paper that came out with that. That was kind of interesting. Speaking fees. Oh my goodness, the Clinton. So now we're going to Clinton territory here. So showing up and speaking for a few minutes and getting grossly overpaid. Good example is Clinton speaking engagements for $500,000 each. Obama did this for the banking industry community as well. He gave, remember that with the $1 trillion. I got to go through this fast. I got more here that I want to get to. The Pelosi policy plan. So you just take in the stock market. You can position yourself in the stock market, purchase stock or options in industries, and then pass policies favorable to those companies. Cha-ching. So in the stock market, you can make Also, you can make money by stocks going down as well. That's called short selling, or buying. You can buy some put options. So they make a bet that the corporation will go down in value, and then they pass legislation that can destroy the industries as well. So that's always a possibility. And the next method is nonprofit organizations, foundations, and charities. Oh gosh, that nauseating Clinton Foundation basically is what this is here. So they actually passed a law saying that 5% minimum of the donation money should go towards the actual cause of charity. So yeah, 5% is the only amount that they ever have to give to the actual charity itself. So yeah, it's pretty sad. Okay, so let's, that's actually, here we are here. Let's go back to the, it was Bribery 101, okay. So the 50-cent party, this is another way. How is China exporting fascism in the form of propaganda as well too? This is one of the ways as well. There's something called the 50 cent party. China government enlists army of bloggers. So if we go down here to, I'm just going to read this here. So it's funding and recruitment have grown enormously since. In fact, small province of Gansu alone, full-time bloggers basically is what it is. Commenters. So given that Gansu accounts for 2.2% of the country's population, the 50-cent party's membership may well reach tens of thousands. Some speculators high as 300,000. So it's just a bunch of people basically. They're an army of several 100,000 posting on YouTube comments, news comments, social media, Facebook, Quora, Reddit, and of course Twitter. And they get 50 cents apparently for everything, for every comment that they put out there. So basically, I just want to show you that because I thought I ran into one of these people on the internet. Obviously, because I love China and they love me, and so, and we bring us to this. I did a comment on the bottom of this. Is actually kind of a sad story because it is basically 100% export of Chinese fascism with total success onto the country of Indonesia. So global view from Bali. Bali is in Indonesia, beautiful island in Indonesia. And I would like to have kicked out all those G20s came, and then the World Economic Forum came there. And you're in trouble when those characters come. But also Xi Jinping. So all three of that comes. And then Xi Jinping comes. And they do some kind of a deal. He drops a few $1 billion. Hopefully he didn't get some diamonds too. He looks all giddy actually when I look at him. So it could be that he did receive a bunch of what we were just talking about in that last article I was going through. So, or like diamonds or the different types of creative bribery. Hopefully that didn't happen. But anyway, they're winding up with a high-speed train. I'll show it to you in a bit. And then, but they have to build a military base on one of the Indonesian islands. So yeah, but anyway, I posted this message at the bottom of this. And by the way, this is CGTN. So CGTN is funded by the Chinese government. It's an English language Chinese government things. But anyway, let me read this. It explains a lot. So it says, so I wrote, Forces of Freedom and Fascism. That guy looks pretty handsome. But anyway, CGTN is a state-run English language news channel based in Beijing, China. To be on this channel is an absolute embarrassment for anyone to be on. It means you're working with the largest criminal organization in the world, the CCP. No one in China can see this YouTube video because the people living there cannot access the World Wide Web. They are limited to an internet that only carries what the CCP wants you to see. So China is an Orwellian 1984 dystopian nightmare. To do business with the CCP is to make a deal with the devil. Okay, so, and what happened is, I got into it with this guy named Mohammed Aldino Ruzwandi. And I thought it was one of these 50 Cent bloggers. But we really got into it, and he wound up, I think he wound up deleting. I don't see his messages here, but they still show up. I could have pulled them down out of here. So yeah. So we got into it a little bit, and it was kind of interesting, but I'll tell you how this ends. In the next episode, I'll let you know how all of this turned out. So thank you so much for tuning in to episode number 4. We'll continue along with this in episode number 5. And absolutely stay yourself beautiful, democratic, patriots, and stay beautiful. All right, bye-bye.